Well, one of those who knew M F Husain very closely was Anjolie Ela Menon. She describes the association with Husain and says the controversies were always politically motivated.
Well, today is hardly a day when an old friend of M F Husain will talk about the controversies surrounding him, or for that matter on how he had to die in another country. But today I have a friend who would probably remember the good times they've shared. I have with me artist M F Husain has been a mentor and a good friend to her, Anjolie Ela Menon. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us. You've known M F Husain for years now. He's been a mentor, a guide, a friend. When you look back at all these years, would you remember him as a man who's never aged, or a man who never really grew up?
Both I think. He's 25 years older than I am, and as I've grown older, he remained exactly where he was, a young man. He was so young, so full of pep and verve and humor, and but most of all driven to paint with such vigor. That vigor is kind of eluding many of us as we grow older. But with Husain, he could still paint 8 hours a day, not feel tired, not show any signs of aging, and still have time to spend with friends who went to meet him.
For a lot of us, he's quite an enigma. On one hand, he's this flamboyant artist, Ferrari, a Bentley, but on the other hand, same time, on barefoot. Could you put it together for us?
Well, I think of him really as somewhat of a sanyasi. He had an innate sense of PR. He never had any other gallery having to do his PR or a PR agency. He was his own best PR man. But all these, the flamboyance was all partly like a small boy who wanted his toys, but in many ways he was a total sannyasi. He said to me that, in fact, the last time I met him, I said he'd bought this big flat in London, and I said, now which is your bedroom? And he said, bedroom? I've never had a bedroom in my life. In anybody's house where I am, I sleep on the sofa. And that was partly the secret of his success, because he would not be grounded anywhere. If he wanted to go off somewhere within 5 minutes' notice, he'd just leave. He never was rooted by his possessions. So in many ways he was very ascetic in his own persona. He never drank. I think he very much disapproved of bad behavior. And he was very correct. Actually, for all his talking about all the women in his life and so on, I think he had a very platonic relationship, a very correct relationship with all the people. And I think all these so-called the muses in his life will vouch for that, that there was never any indecent behavior. There was always, it was always based in a great love, but respect. It was always based in respect.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.